We're live. Are we live already? That happened fast. that snuck up on me. Okay, I'm running in here hot, guys. I'm running in here hot. I'm checking everything, make sure it's uh, working correctly. This is my first live, so you have to give me a minute. Let me check on my phone real fast and see if we are hooked up to Facebook. Let's see. My Facebook's not going to work. Of course. Why would it work, right? Why would it work, guys? this is this is crazy. Already we're hitting craziness. Yeah, look, Facebook isn't even wanting to load. Okay, let's go to Instagram, see if it's on. Are we live? Instagram, are we live? Let's see. Are we live? Nope, there's my... Nope, we're not. What's going on? Hello? Anybody there? We got people watching. Let's look at the comments. Here we are. Javi, Ozark still works. How's it going, guys? You guys are on YouTube. All right. I'm just making sure I'm on Facebook and what you call it as well. So I'm just trying to double check that real fast. Give me five seconds and we will go from there. Oh, there we go. It's live. Okay. We're live on Facebook. Okay. I'm going to get this out of the way. It's been a crazy day. I I woke up this morning about 5 o'clock a.m. I'll get to the looks and stuff. Woke up this morning about 5 o'clock because Garrison Brothers was releasing this bottle. And so I said, one of the things that I wanted to do with whiskey this year, and since I've got over what I've got over, yeah, Freedom Malts. I know. We're going to talk about that for a second. One of the things that I told myself after going through all this stuff was I wanted to do more whiskey things. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm doing more whiskey stuff. And so I woke up early this morning and went and got the Garrison Brothers. So I got there it was like 5:45 by the time I got there. I was 20th in line. That's pretty crazy. And then got my bottle. I tried to get more than one because, to share, to sample to people, stuff like that. They only gave me one. Kind of sucks, but that's okay. Well, then right after that, I hauled ass over to I live in the Hill Country, and it's called the Hill Country's Builders Association. It's a bunch of builders. I am a plumber by trade, so I'm not a builder, but I'm associated with a bunch of builders. They were having a barbecue cook-off, and one of my good friends is a builder, and he's like, "Hey, come help us barbecue. You're free and clear, aka the reason we're having this live stream. You're free and clear. Come make some barbecue with us." And I'm like, "Hell yeah, let's do it." So right after that, drove over there, threw on 3 racks of ribs, two whole chickens. We pulled the briskets off. And, we just had a great time. We ended up getting 9th in brisket overall, which I would have thought it would have been a little higher, but it wasn't. I'm sorry. But that's just kind of how it is. 9th in brisket was kind of a hit, but it's better than 0, right? It's better than last place. I think there was 43 or 45 teams placing. So that's pretty good deal. Did not place in ribs or chicken, which I was a little bummed about that because everybody who tasted it said that it was amazing. So whatever, take it for what it is. Okay, so let's get into the reason for tonight. Giving everybody a little bit of time to get in here. And then we will have a couple of guests come on. That's right, Javi. It is all for fun. When you're doing cook-offs and barbecue stuff or whatever in a competition, it's really just about camaraderie and stuff like that. I'm excited, so I'm probably talking a little fast, and I'm sorry. We're going to have a good time tonight. I'm not going to keep you very long, and you can feel free to come in and out as you please. I have not had a drink of whiskey in 11 weeks, maybe. So we are going to dip into some whiskeys, and I'm going to sample them. And sample them, give some tasting notes, blah, 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 all that. So let's talk about the elephant in the room, right? I'm going to do it one time. So for those who aren't in the chat right now or watching the video right now, you're not going to see it. Here it goes. It's gone. Everything is gone. And I put that back on because my head gets cold. You know what I mean? My head gets really cold. So went through chemo, obviously, as y'all know. Y'all been supporting me for a while. Went through chemo, lost all my hair. I still got some little scragglies. I am now 3 weeks out of chemo. All right, looks like we got some more people watching. That's awesome. Of course, right after I put the hat back on, right? So we went through chemo. I'm 3 weeks out of chemo, and I'm feeling really good. Blood work came back perfect, exactly the way they wanted it. Oh, yeah, I know what you mean. But it's okay. So this is kind of going to be hard for me. We've never done this before. So you in the chats, just give me a little time. I'll try to respond to you. And if you have any questions or anything, feel free to put them in the chat. I am going to be, and I forgot to look at it. And the Germ, if you're still watching or listening, I'm going to be drinking SMWS 36. If you could look up what bottle that is, that would be great, because I don't know exactly. I know it's a Highland. I just don't know exactly which one it is. So we went through chemo, did all the things, feel a lot better now. My blood work came back perfect. My white blood cell count was almost to normal in 2.5 weeks or whatever. That's freaking amazing. They love that. And Monday I start a natural pathology type treatment as well, to get my immune system up, to get my just well-being up. So that's that. We got that out of the way. So it's time to celebrate, right? So here's the deal. When you have cancer, and then this is not going to be a talk about cancer, so just stop. When you have cancer, the one trigger for cancer is sugar, right? Sugar is the biggest trigger for cancer cells. Now you say, but you're cancer free. That's true, but my body and most people's body don't actually recognize the cancer cell. So Benrius, that's perfect. I knew it was something like that. I just didn't know the exact thing for it. So your body doesn't recognize the cancer cell. So you have to trick your body to learn to recognize the cancer. So you do these different things, and that's kind of what chemo does. It shocks your body. Actually, it poisons your body. But anyway, besides that, it shocks your body, and it kind of like kicks it in the butt and say, hey, get to work, right? So I know that one of the triggers for creating more cancerous cells is sugar. And that's very unfortunate, especially like table sugars and stuff like that. Facebook user, that was a good one. Okay. So I lost my train of thought. Sorry. So the one thing is, whenever you metabolize whiskey, it does metabolize as a carbohydrate, because not a carbohydrate, but it does have calories in it, and your body turns it into a simple sugar in your body. That being said, I'm just going to have to watch my intake. I don't drink excessively, I probably drink more than most people do. I mean, because some people they'll binge drink, and then they won't drink for a long time, and then they'll drink a bunch. But I'll have a couple drinks, used to have a couple drinks, and then, and then not drink for a while and have a couple more drinks. So that's kind of where we're at. So without further ado, let's get into it. I'm making sure my wife doesn't need me. We are going to drink the Ben Rias. So this is Ben Rias. It's a single malt Scotch, but this is the SMW. Let me get it in the screen. The SMWS. It's called Midwinter's Celebration, not celebration. Celebration. So basically, if you don't know anything about Scotch Malt Whiskey Society, they are an independent bottler out of Scotland, and they take cool and interesting barrels of whiskey, and what they do is they showcase that. And so they don't. The only thing with SMWS is you have to look up. It has a number. Like this one, the cask is 36194. So this is a special release of that, but it's 36, which is Ben Rias, and you can just look it up and find out. But this is a 12-year-old, and it is 56.6% alcohol. So, like I say, I have not had a drink in probably 11 weeks. So there's something about this label, this part, the neck tag. I don't know. I pull them off. It's kind of hard to do with some bottles, but all right, let's get a pop. There we go. Sorry if I'm being overly dramatic, but I'm excited. I'm happy to be here. I'm just going to pour a very little bit just to kind of get going with it. All right, we'll put that where you can't see it at all. That's not going to help. Okay, it doesn't matter. All right, so this one is called Midwinter Celebration, right? So obviously we are celebrating, and it's, Punxsutawney Phil said we don't have 6 weeks more, or we do. I don't remember. I don't believe it anyway. It is what it is. So this is a celebration whiskey. I actually got it for Christmas from my wife. Thank you, baby, because it was much needed, and I couldn't have any, so that kind of sucked. Oh man, it smells amazing. It smells very spicy, like Christmas spicy, like nutmeg, cinnamon. The little bit of vanilla coming through, which is nice. Like a pie, like pie crust. Let's get a. Oh man! Immediately on the palate, it explodes with fruit, like a mixed fruit, not a normal fruit, like a strawberry or something like that, but like a mixture of raspberries, blackberries, maybe some blueberry in there. Going back to the barbecue cook-off, my wife and the builder's wife actually did a entry in the competition, and they cooked a mixed berry cobbler in a Dutch oven, and that was super cool. I got to taste it. A little sample of it. It was amazing, and they won 4th place on that. So that was really super cool. I was excited that they got that because my wife was working pretty hard on the recipe for it, and I'm glad that they got in on that. Oh man, that's some amazing stuff. And you're not just gonna sit here and watch me drink whiskey. That's not what we're doing. I mean, it's part of what we're doing, but man, I could sit with this nose all night long. Can everybody hear me good? I just want to make sure because normally I have headphones on, like when I'm doing a Zoom or something, I have headphones on. I'm using a new app. It's called StreamYard. I'm sure everybody's heard of it by now. I'm trying it out to see how it goes. I had to pay for a whole year to get all these features, so hopefully it's worth it. Yeah, anyway, so I hope it was easy for y'all to get in here. And I was able to set it up to stream on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram all at the same time. So that was really pretty cool. Okay, so we are celebrating. It's Saturday. It's what is it? That's already February, right? So what are some of these things that that we want to try to do for this year. Like, I hate New Year's resolutions and stuff like that. I don't like those. To me, I'm more of a, like, if I wasn't going to do it immediately, I'm probably never going to do it. That I'm that type of person. But at the same time, like, there are some things that once you're like, okay, if you've ever drank Jägermeister and you've got a little too drunk on Jägermeister, you realize, I'm not going to drink Jägermeister anymore. That's just a thing that you kind of know. So what are some of the things that I want to do this year? And I already talked about one of them earlier. What are some of the things that I want to do this year with this whole whiskey community part, and personally, obviously, and personally as well? One of the things is get out in the community more if I can. All right, Erickson, good job. I want to get out in the community more, and that's why I went to Garrison this morning, and picked up a bottle from them. Just to, and I didn't even stay there. I didn't do anything. It was just support, for one, supporting local, even though they're owned by Diageo, but whatever. Supporting local, but also getting in the community, because the only way people are going to know more about me and everything that I'm doing is to get out there in the community. And on the ones that are in the community and they already know me, hey, you're already here, and that's great. Man, that is amazing. I can't wait. Okay, so Christopher Conrad from Bad Mill Legacy Barrels just said that the audio is a lot better on YouTube. So those of you on Facebook, I don't know why it's like that, but it is. So I'm sorry that it is. I tried to switch out the camera and the audio, and it wouldn't let me do it for some reason. I don't know what the deal is, but maybe it's lagging on Facebook or something. Anyway, so for those of y'all just getting into it, I'm drinking. Oh my God, I gotta work on that. SMWS Midwinter Celebration. Smash the like button, please. Thank you, Mad Jack. Okay, so another thing that I wanted to do, and we're fixing to have a couple guests on. Well, if I can get, one of them hasn't responded back to me yet, so it might just be one guest. So we'll see what happens there. Let me see if, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to avoid you guys. I'm trying to see if he responded to me or not. There has been no response as of right now, so we will see what happens. I let this person know. We'll see. Whatever, it doesn't matter. If not, we'll have one. Or if not, I'll stay on here by myself. I don't have a problem doing that. So another thing, whiskey related, that I want to do a little. What am I doing? Okay, trying to get my logo. I got this stupid logo, and I feel like if it's not centered, it's like OCD in me. It looks a little crooked. Anyway, one of the things that I want to do with, not only with these channels and stuff like that, but with this whole whiskey scene this year, is not only get out there and get out there and be in the whiskey community, but also do more reviews, do more tastings, do more blinds. I have you can't see them, but right over here, right where the whiskey shaman thing is, there is probably 3 or 4 blinds. I've got bags of blinds from Old Fashioned Ways. I've got all of these things that I need to do, and I want to do more and more of them. It's just, obviously, I haven't been able to do that. So now that I'm able to do these things, obviously I have to use discretion, and I can't overindulge as much as I would, not that I would want, but I'm gonna have to watch my intake and make sure and check my sugar levels and stuff like that, so that I'm not going over. But if I can still enjoy a couple of whiskeys, that's great. So one of the things that's really cool about this whiskey, the Midwinter Celebration, is it first was in an ex-bourbon hogshead, which means a hogshead is just a larger barrel. And then it was in a PX or Pedro Jimenez cask. And so it has a lot of really, really nice sherry notes in it, which is really cool. I might, and don't hate me, I might actually pour, Iceman, good to see you. I'm actually going to get a little bit more, just a little dash more. Just a dash more. Because I really want this to open up a little bit. They say there is such a thing as a neck pour, right? But I heard of it. I've had multiple drinks, and I'm like, is it really a neck pour, or is it just it opens up more when in the bottle? I don't know. Oxidation obviously is a thing. You want a little bit of oxygen in your whiskey, not a whole lot of oxygen. So it's just one of those things. But anyway, the PX on this is really nice. It's really showing through, and the proof, being that it's 56.6% alcohol, doesn't come across like that. So if there's anybody else out there drinking tonight, I'd like to know what y'all are drinking. I'm starting with a Scotch, obviously, but I am moving into a bourbon, and then we're going to finish off with a very special whiskey. So make sure you stay tuned for the special whiskey at the end. They're right here. But I'd like to know what y'all are drinking, if you're drinking anything. Uh-oh. Come on in. It's okay. Come. You're fine. My wife has to get dog food out of the freezer. It's fine. But yeah, I'd like to know what y'all are drinking, and just chili pineapple from a friend. Oh, Ozark still works. He always has the sometimes the strangest things, but they always sound delicious. Iceman isn't drinking yet, but he will be soon. Okay, I can understand that. So I decided, 7:00 my time was a good time for this. Some people do 8, but I like to go to bed early. I don't know. I'm not like all you other guys that stay up till 2:00 in the morning on live streams and Discord and all this stuff. I'm like, man, I can't do that. I can't do that at all. So, I tell you what. And I can't sing their praises enough, and I'll continue to sing their praises. Scotch Malt Whiskey Society is making some amazing, well, they're not making, is finding and bottling some amazing whiskeys from some really, really cool, and sometimes Johnny Walker Blue. Good job. So some really cool bottlings, and you need to. I know it's a subscription and it costs money. If you're into Scotch at all, Iceman, I would love to. Can I click on it? Yeah. Look, I would love to go to bed early, but my wife is evil and wants to stay up. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Hey, look, I can do a thing. That's cool. Yeah, the barrel dovetail. That's a pretty amazing, pretty special bottle, Eric. And then Johnny Walker Blue. Johnny Walker Blue, to me, and this is just me, I get that hint of smoke note that you get from the Kulila in there. That to me is pretty dominant, which I love smoke. I love a smoky whiskey. I love all of that stuff. But it sometimes it gets in the way of the fruity notes on that particular bottling. It gets in the way of the fruity notes of the rest of the whiskey. So I haven't had bottles of it, so I haven't sat with it for a couple of pours, but the one couple of times that I've had it, it's good, but I think, to me personally, which, I have been blessed to be able to buy different whiskeys, obviously. So to me, the Johnny Walker Green, or maybe I think it was the gold, maybe the gold, I don't remember. They to me were super, they to me were a little better than the blue for a little bit less money, if you know what I mean. Okay, let's get through this one. Can you believe we're 24 minutes in already? That's crazy. That is really crazy. And one other thing you got to do is you got to stay hydrated, guys. You got to drink a lot of water, especially if you're drinking whiskey. I always tell people this when I'm doing tastings for people. I'm like, if you're not drinking water, you're going to ruin your palate. You know what I mean? You really are. Because I see people. Okay, and this is not a dig to anybody. Okay, there was a guy at the barbecue cook-off today, and he had a bottle. At least it was a decent bottle. He had a bottle of Buffalo Trace, and he was drinking it directly out of the bottle. No shame. I'm not shaming anybody, but I'm like, and the bottle was like, I mean, there was barely any in that bottle. You know, he had been drinking on it all day, and I'm just thinking to myself, Lord, like. I appreciate that, Iceman. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. You know, it is really crazy the outreach of the community. Not only the personal community that the community around me that I work in and I live in, but also the whiskey community, just the people around it. It has been amazing. It literally has been amazing. It shows the humanity and the humility of people. Like it is so cool to me that people that I barely know. You know what I mean? Like I know most of you. I don't know some of you. Know some of you near as much as as I should. But like just the outreach of everybody is it's amazing. It really is amazing. So funny side note, when I went to the doctor and she was giving me a once over just to make sure everything was going good. And she was checking around my head and stuff like that. And she goes, "Hey, you know what? You already have hair growing back." And I said, "Oh, really?" And she goes, "Yeah, look, you have little fuzzy hairs growing all over." And she goes, "I wouldn't doubt it, but the next time I see you, your hair's back." And I said, "Hallelujah," because I don't know about y'all, but to me, this is the hardest part about chemo. This face, not this face. You know what I mean? Like dealing with this, because I've had a beard for 11 years. My son is 11 years old. And when he was born, I didn't shave. I just said, I'm not going to shave. And I hadn't shaved until I had to. And I mean, there's still little scruffy hairs, stuff like that didn't fall out, but it's basically gone. It's basically gone. Why can't I? Oh, Mad Jack said, "Thank you, Christopher." Yes, no. If y'all have, I mean, if you've been following me for a minute and you know anything about anything that I do, my podcast or my YouTube stuff or whatever, you know that I am an avid supporter of Bad Motivator barrels. There's one literally right behind my head. They are amazing barrels, and you need to go get some. He just opened up a brand new warehouse that is ready. I have been following you for maybe 3 minutes. Thank you, Iceman. That's 3 minutes or three years. It doesn't matter. It's all love. But those Badmo barrels are amazing. And even if you're not a beer brewer or a winemaker or a tinkerer in the shed or a craft distillery or anything like that, they're just amazing barrels. They look cool on the shelf too. So that's one of the reasons why I got it. It just looks really cool on the shelf. And you can see the top of it right there. That's the Infinity barrel. It's not ready, so I don't want to. I would say we would dip into it tonight, but it's not ready. But I could be convinced to have a dram of it, small pull out of it. I can read you off the little list of stuff that's in there and stuff like that, if wanted. I could be persuaded, I guess. But so what is the other reason why I wanted to do this stream? Oh, okay. I know who you are now. Facebook user, hiding your name. How dare you? How dare you? Look at that. Yeah, I know. I know. Ay, ay, ay. I can't believe you. Anyway, the other reason I wanted to have this live stream is I want to start doing more content like this. Um, you know, this is the type of content that I think is cool, and I'd love to have guests on, and just kind of um, be able to do that. You know what I mean? Be able to have one more thing of content, share a drink with you. You know what I'm saying? Like do this like not I'm not even once a month, like no, I can't, Christopher. It just says Facebook user. It's kind of weird. Yeah, I know it's Ben. I know it's Ben. He's the only one that would know that's how I looked at high school. In high school I had super long hair though. So, but anyway, where was I going? I want to do more content like this. I want to have I want to be able to reach more people and maybe not interview people, not really so much do like a full on podcast or something like that, but at the same time, be able to have conversation and be like, hey, let's talk about this tonight. You know what I mean? And maybe once a month, or maybe, once every 6 weeks or something like that. I don't know. Depending upon schedule, obviously on everybody's schedule. I don't want to be the guy that's like, hey, I'm doing it weekly or something like that, because I don't want to commit to something like that. You know what I mean? It's very kind of, it's kind of hard to for me personally to commit that far in advance, like, and to put that much into. But if this is something y'all are finding value in, then yeah, it's definitely something I can do. But yeah, I mean, it's to me, this community is vital for whiskey growth, because without the community and without people out there watching the channels, watching the YouTube channels, being just doing the things, subscribing to I hate to say the word influencers, because that's not what I am. I'm not trying to be an influencer. I'm just a guy that is ecstatic about whiskey and I love it. So it is what it is. But anyway, at the same time, it's like, I want the community to grow, and I think that this is something that people that aren't really maybe, oh gosh, how do you say it? People that aren't really wanting to get in front of a camera can still participate. Does that make sense? Like all of you in the chat, if you wanted to participate, you could go on a live. You know what I mean? You could come on and talk on here or whatever. So, that, I mean, we could do that as well. I have no problem having, listeners or viewers or whatever come on here and talk, because I think that would be cool too. Having people that, having non-scripted people just come in and start talking about how they feel about certain things. Mainly whiskey, of course, right? Okay, so now let's get to some hey, there's Marsh. Let's see if I can get him in here. There's Marshall.
Hey, congratulations, buddy.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'm glad you got my invite. So I was just fixing to open this. I know you ain't got this one. The Garrison.
I don't buy anything from Garrison.
Why not?
I don't.
Are we going to go there already?
I don't like Dan Garrison. I don't like the overpriced cost of it. I hate everything about that distillery.
Okay. Well, in your honor, I'm going to open this. This bottle was really expensive. I will say that much. It was really expensive.
They're proud of them.
And I will say I did try their last year's edition of this, and it was pretty good. I feel like Garrison in itself needs a port finish or needs some sort of finish to it because the distillate itself is a little hot and is a little fiery. So, what do you got?
We both bought that one.
Yeah, we did, but it's in the other room. I can't go all the way over there, and I already have my lineup.
I grab whatever it is I want to grab and just go.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll stick to whiskey tonight. I'll say that.
Okay, I appreciate that.
I'll have like one whiskey, maybe 2 whiskeys, and then I'll have like 8 rums.
Okay. So
I'll stick to whiskey
for those of you who don't know in the chat, Marshall has a channel, and he mainly covers rum and stuff like that. He does like whiskey. Oh, okay. Our other guest said 5 minutes. So he mainly sticks to rum, but he does enjoy whiskey. He likes to go to Andalusia. I will be there for the chili cook-off, just to let you know. So
I'm entering the cook-off.
Oh, you are? You ready to go? You ready to fight?
Let's fight, buddy.
I'm doing a different recipe this year, so we'll see if it's any good.
I'm bringing something to the table you ain't ready for.
Oh, come on now.
It's gonna be fun.
Come on now. Yeah, no, it is. It's just a good time over there, and like all those guys, and Ty and Tommy and Moose, they're just amazing people to hang out with.
Oh, yeah.
And the other people that come over there, they're just really cool too. So it's like, and I think it really kind of ruffled some feathers last year when I won, because it was like professional chili cook-off teams there, and they were like, "What the hell?" It was actually pretty nice. Me and my son, we're just hanging out. We got this poor little pot. We didn't have all this big, setup or anything. We just whooped them, and they were like, "Huh."
So what's funny is 3 or 4 of those guys that were there last year that I met, I ended up following them on Instagram, or they followed me, vice versa. And I can't tell you how many times I've chatted to those to the guys that were doing like the elk meat and their sausage.
Yes. Yeah.
B Lockett and Chris something or another. I've chatted with those guys several times. They're like, "Hey man, we're going to be in Austin. Do you think you're going to be free?" Nope.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yep.
Not at all.
But. All right, so I'm gonna give a couple tasting notes on this Garrison Brothers. Since it just came out today, I'm gonna give it a fair shake. I'm trying to get into more. I like Texas whiskey. Texas whiskey's fine, but I'm trying to get in more into. Garrison's about as local as you're going to get to me, and I wanted to see kind of where this one, being a special release, where it kind of led off, because I know their base model isn't great to me. Their other model isn't good. Their Cowboy is super hot and fiery. So it's I wanted to see if this one is 53.5% or 107 proof. So the proof is high enough, but it's not super high. Of course, this is only the second whiskey I've had in 11 weeks. So, it's hot enough. It's hot enough for me, but on the nose, it's super, it's like candy, like almost a plum, really dark, which port, maybe like a raisin port, something like that. But
what port did they put it in?
It says finished in a port cask. It doesn't say which one.
Okay, they might have had an NDA when they bought the barrels.
Yeah, I mean, it is a 6-year-old bourbon, which is cool. They left it 2 years in that port cask, so it got everything it was going to get out of that cask. And so obviously Garrison, you don't worry about the color; it's always dark.
It's always dark.
They're using 30-gallon barrels most of the time. But yeah, it's super like figgy, which smells amazing.
Yep.
It's a little astringent, which that's the Garrison note. It kind of comes across as astringent, but it also you can tell that port just kind of covers it up and gives it like a really nice, almost. if you've ever made like I don't know how you call it, like a sauce or something with like wine, like a wine sauce for some pasta or something, it kind of tastes like that. It has a very heavy wine influence, which I enjoy. I like finished whiskeys. I know a lot of people don't. But like coming from a Scotch background, not Scotch background, not Scotch, but coming from a Scotch background, like you just know that most of the whiskeys are going to be finished, most of them, or they're going to be ex-bourbon, which is going to be a basic whiskey. It's not going to be anything good, but yeah. Uh-oh. Yeah, no, dude, that's drinkable. That's drinkable. It might not be worth. I'm going to get actually a little bit more. I'm doing super small pours because I don't want to, I want to be on here for a minute, but at the same time, like I want to get it to where I can taste it.
No, don't rush yourself back into it.
Yeah, no. That's the other thing. To me, I don't know, like. Would I buy the bottle again? Probably not for the price that it was. And I'm not afraid to say it. It was $150 for that bottle. And okay, yeah, it's a limited release. There's only, so many. I got bottle 505. There's only so many bottles of it, which I get, but it's better than their normal releases. So I'll give it that much. And I'm gonna give it some more time and let the bottle open up a little bit because. Like I was saying earlier, neck pour, people say it's a thing. I personally don't. I've had whiskey neck pours. I've actually saved the first 2 ounces and came back and tried it again, and it tasted the same from throughout the entire bottle. I think your perception of the bottle changes personally, but that's just me. And oxidation gets in it, stuff like that. That's just me. I don't know. What do you think, Marsh?
Neck pour in whiskey is negligible. Neck pour in Armagnac, cognac, rum, very noticeable. And here's kind of where I like to try to explain this to people. When your base distillate was a much more kind of water based, so sugarcane, right, grapes, like brandies, things like that, right? There was a natural, there was a high amount of water that was stored in with all of those natural sugars. I think when you have something, and this goes for honey as well, when you're doing like distilled meads or anything like that, I think that there's a certain amount of exchange that needs to have, happen. With whiskey, however, you don't really have that. So because most of your stuff is toasted grains and you have to really hydrate that toasted grain in order for all those starches and sugars to be released, I think that you're kind of at a point where, with whiskey, what I find in the category of whiskey, single malt, rye, bourbon, indiscriminatory grain mash bills, is the flavor profile that you get when you open it is very close to the flavor profile you get when you finish it. They will open up, they'll oxidize, and they'll get a little bit better. But with rum, you only have a certain amount of time frame. With brandy, you only have a certain amount of time frame to drink that because it will go flat. It will go stale. That's the best way that I can put it. Like drinking a flat Coke versus a nice carbonated Coke. It's a very different experience. So I find that neck pours in whiskey almost non-existent. Now, there is something to be said, and you mentioned it, like palate. What's the word for it? Palate acclimation is a legitimate problem with high proof spirits. Now, you're not going to really get a neck pour on a 40 proofer, at least if you drink like near you, right? You're not going to get a neck pour sensation or anything resembling a neck pour sensation off a 40 proof. But you just cracked 107. I'm drinking 117, right? So you'll get a little bit there, but overall, man, it's not as prevalent in the American style of whiskeys. It's slightly a little bit more prevalent with some of your scotches. I find lowland scotches have an interesting, or I say Speyside scotches, really in my opinion, have kind of this interesting sharp development point right there at the beginning. You can't really call it what the industry calls the neck pour, but it's a sharp flavor incline. It goes from muted to being very flavorful for I mean, take say 10 minutes of sitting with
Yeah.
something, and then all of a sudden it kind of takes off. So you'll have circumstances like that you'll notice, and it's really rich region by region, spirit by spirit. But the vast majority of people who are online and they're saying, "Oh, neck pour," well, that's because you're not used to drinking it, and it's hot, and your palate can't take it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, that I mean, and I've always never cared so much about neck pour. I had a listener gave me an entire box of, and I haven't even opened it yet. I need to get into it, and now that I can get back to drinking, he gave me 8 different rums. Cheers
To that.
He gave me 8 different rums, and because I had talked about on one of my podcasts or whatever, I said something about rum, and I said I like rum, I just don't drink it enough to give you a profile.
That's literally multiple shelves of mine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He said he's having mic and video issues. He's working on it. It's all good. We're gonna be here for a minute. But like with whiskey, I can tell you, I can say, hey, you might like this, that type of stuff. So he gave me a box of like 8 different samples, and he just wants me to try them. And I was like, cool, and I'm all about, trying samples that people want to give, that's no big deal. But like me going to the store, buying a bottle of rum, is probably not going to happen unless it's like a special release from Andalusia or something like that.
Keep in mind, Moose has projects coming down the pipeline that you're going to want. I know. I didn't
say not Andalusia stuff. I literally buy almost everything they have. So that's we're supposed to be hanging out here sometime soon. I'm supposed to go up there, and he's just a mad scientist. I love the guy. He's a mad scientist. And he's like, look at this crazy shit I'm doing over here. It's like, oh, look, it smells like cat piss. It's fine. This is good. Like, what the hell? But
Moose is a nut.
Yeah, he's crazy. He really is.
Well, I'll tell you what, I got a lot of extra fucking time on my hands, so you let me know when you're going up there.
Okay, I will. Why do you have so much extra time? Can we get into that?
I quit my job.
Shut up.
Almost 7 years, and I couldn't take it anymore. They were. I was getting, so let me tell you how bad it was. About 6 months ago, my boss left. I stepped into the other half of the company, and tried to run remodels, tried to do this and that, and we were doing great. I was pulling in money, everybody was happy. And then all of a sudden, they started slowly kind of just pulling. They started pulling the authority back, and they promised me all kinds of shit. Never came through with a single bit of it, right? So there was all of that, and then they would send me to calls for property management companies, and I'm like, that's perfectly fine. I'll work for a property management company, but like, just be aware, I don't play nice to red tape. You know what I mean? That's not what I'm going to get in there. I'm going to get the fucking job done. And if they need to cough up a little extra cash just to make sure everything's buttoned up the right way, then they're going to do that. And after about the 5th or 6th time that I went in there, and it was always small stuff. Like, I would notice that this is wrong or this is causing an issue, and I would fix it. I would just fix it. I'd put it on the note. I wouldn't charge anything extra, or I'd be like, hey, here's an extra $55 for a flapper replacement or whatever little thing that's there, right?
Yeah.
And they progressively got more irritated with me as time went on. So they started putting me on basically helper training in a nutshell, because I am one of the most qualified guys that they had. Like, there's not even the next guy down the line knows half as much. I swear it's kind of embarrassing. And I just got to a point where I was waking up in the middle of the night. I was anxious every day, having to get up and go to work. And I said, dude, it's not even worth it. It's not even worth my time. Like, I'm not sleeping well. I'm stuttering worse than ever before. I'm just feeling anxious. I'm losing my temper too fast. And I said, you know what? I'm done. I'm walking away. So
that's awesome. That takes a lot of balls. That takes a lot of balls to do, because I know when you're in a job and they're paying pretty good and you're doing your job. And those of y'all in the chat that don't know Marshall, he's a plumber like I am, and he's been grinding and trying to make it work. And sometimes you just can't do it, and sometimes you just got to walk away. We got somebody else coming in.
Oh, this guy.
What?
I've been seeing too much of you lately.
I know, right?
Do I need to kick him out? I'll kick him out.
I've been on live. Me and Jeremy have been doing Instagram lives with Whiskey Franco and a couple of other people. I think I've probably seen him 3 or 4. I haven't seen him for several days next week. I'm going up there to Wisconsin, so
Really?
that'll be cool. But yeah,
what is going on here?
He's having an issue.
I wasn't prepared for this. Is what's going on. I've been preparing for it for a week, and when it comes down to it, I wasn't prepared. You know what I mean?
That's how it happens. Like every time you try and do something, you press a button, nothing works. Like I had a different camera. I was gonna have like a speaker and all kinds of stuff. None of it would sync to the damn computer. Nothing ever works right. I'm literally going off the damn thing of the computer. It's just it's horrible. Like technology to me, and this I'll get off my high horse after this. Technology to me is the best and worst thing that's ever happened to us. Like it's great because we can do what we're doing right now. We can all sit down and share a drink and talk and BS. But like at the same time, it's like it makes you want to pull your hair out. I mean,
yeah, absolutely. Well, here, you know what?
Okay.
I'm gonna.
Okay.
Well, you're just naturally bald.
We'll do it one more time.
There you go. Look at this guy. Dude, you seriously? I when I jumped on and saw your first thing, I'm like, no way, is that him without the beard? Holy man!
Dude,
but no, you're looking good, brother. Looking good.
I feel great, and that's
Good.
the thing. It's hard though. It's hard because when you're used to seeing yourself as the long-haired bearded guy, and then you see yourself as this guy, you're like, what the hell is that? You know, it's kind of weird walking by the mirror. But I tell you what, my head gets cold. It gets cold fast. And it's like, sometimes I got to sleep in a beanie. It's like, what the heck is going on?
Right.
So I know I'm preaching to the choir here, right?
Yeah. No, you're good, brother. All right. So what are we sipping on? Yeah.
Well, I'm still on the Garrison Guadalupe.
Is that your first one or second one, or where you at?
That's my second. I did. Yeah. God, I can't get the camera right.
Yeah, you're good. That was the 36.
Yeah, the 36.
Did you see my reply? You asked me about that as Ben Rennes. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And I can't believe you found that so fast. You know, you're when it comes to it. So find you something. I'm gonna sip on this a minute. I don't want to go too far. I did eat a lot of meat earlier, so I'm good. I was cutting up brisket, and we cooked 2 briskets, and one of them was, I don't know, the guy I was working with, I guess, is a builder, and he bought some Wagyu brisket for, I'm not even going to tell you how much it cost, and it had this piece of fat in it, no lie, that big. I had to cut a huge gouge out of it just to get that piece of hard fat out. The brisket tasted amazing. I mean, it was so good. You know, just salt and pepper on it. It was so good. We got 9th place, which is better than 0, right? Out of 45 teams, that's pretty good for our first competition. That was pretty good. But like, I was sitting there cutting it, and I was like, man, I don't know if we should use this one or this one, because we had a prime brisket over there too. And I was like, man, this one tastes good, and I like the bark on it, but this one is just so juicy. So I've had probably 2 pounds of meat, so that's pretty good.
All right. So pardon me, I am dressed for a Zoom meeting. I do have pants on, but they're work pants.
Okay. That's what they all say.
You gotta grab something from Texas.
You're doing Texas whiskey. I'll do something Texas as well.
Do something from Texas. Let's go.
Yeah.
Certified.
I'm going to do a little striker. Yeah, I'm going to do a little striker.
I've got a Northwoods Whiskey Nerds Glen.
Oh, look at that.
Nerds Glen.
I do too.
Hey, I don't have one of those.
Yeah, you do.
So you do.
Box. I just need to get it to you.
I mean, come on. Sure. I mean, Marshall, what the hell? What's going on? Am I going to have to drive to freaking Austin?
No,
I mean,
so
that would
here's the
probably be
thing.
easier
My thought
commercial.
process was we always go to Fredericksburg for Christmas shopping, and this is the first year in many, many, many years we didn't go. And I'm like, well, that kind of sucks. And then it's just, just busy with everything else. But hell, I might drive up that way fucking Monday. I don't know.
No, I'm good. I was just giving you shit. But no, I'm really glad both of y'all came on. Because I feel like you guys are I'm going to say the underdog voice of whiskey / rum / distilled spirits. You guys are really, you're talking, there you go. I mean, I don't have any Devil's River. I have yet to get into Devil's River.
Batch 1, bottle number 748 of the Distiller's Collection. This is the very beginning of their second barrel that they dumped out for their Distiller's Collection.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, this one's about 7-8 years old now.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Going back to what you were saying, yeah, I love being the underdog, man. It's fine. Do it for the whiskey. I don't do it for anything else.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And
if you like what I'm putting down, cool. If not, also cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, with all of us have YouTube channels and stuff like that, and then you'll see a little bit of growth, and then it'll go away, and then you'll see a little bit more growth, and it'll go away, and you'll put I haven't put content out in a minute, right? I'll be the one to say it. And you put one video out and it'll get a whole bunch of views, and you're like, all right, cool, we're catching back up. And then the next one will get 3 views. And I'm like, I have X number of subscribers. Like, why at least not have that many?
Because it's not even in their feed.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's the thing.
Yeah. Well, social media's got a horrible algorithm.
Yeah. I got to be honest with you, with the YouTube thing, I did the YouTube thing for just about a year before I dabbled into the Instagram thing.
Yeah.
Instagram grows way faster. I get a lot more traction there, meet a lot more people, and interact with a lot more people, not to mention all of those distilleries and all that other stuff. They all have Instagram accounts, and obviously it's not the head distiller or the owner of the distillery in most cases that's on the Instagram, but I'm assuming they see it. I'm just going to go ahead and think that they see it at least. And
it makes you feel better at least when you repost something they post and they're like giving it a thumbs up. You're like, yes, at least I did that much.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it is so hard because you get to the point where you're like, do I even need to do anything? What am I even doing? I need to shit or get off the pot. But then
I said the same thing just the other day. Shit or get off the pot.
I don't have the monetary means to put all this money into a huge production and all of this editing software and stuff. I do everything on CapCut or something stupid like that. It is. I'm not spending all the money on Adobe Premiere and all this stuff because I'm not getting anything out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So until I get something out of it, I would rather spend my time and my money or my influence into something that's going to give me. And I'm hoping that stuff like this, these live streams and stuff like that, gives it a little more traction because you can hit all 3 of those places. Even though I heard that the Facebook wasn't, the sound was stupid on it, but anyway.
I didn't see you on Instagram being live, so I don't know what that means. But
because okay, so Instagram is stupid in the fact that they want you to. There is a live feed thing that you have to copy and paste into StreamYard, and so I did that, and it was the updated one because I just did it before I went live, and it said that you're live, and I have a check mark right there that says it's going live. But then,
yeah. And when you said that, I was looking to see if it came up, and I didn't see it come up. Hey, what's up there, Stretch?
But yeah, no. So to all the people in the chat, feel free to chime in with any questions, anything that y'all topics. We are all just a bunch of nerds that love distilled spirits. I won't say whiskey because Marshall's in the room, but he's drinking whiskey tonight. But
don't let him fool you. That man loves whiskey.
he just likes to bitch about it, right?
Don't we all?
Right now.
Well,
don't we all?
We all.
I mean,
we all do. But I'll just say like to go back to it and then to finish it up with that, like the whole thing, like I want to put the long hours in, and I don't mind, posting something and then posting something again on YouTube or Instagram. But it's like, if there was one spot where you could post one place and it would go to all, I know there's ways you can do it. I'm just not smart enough technology wise to do it.
Well,
so I don't mind doing all the extra footwork, but at the same time, it's kind of a pain in the butt. I just wish it was a little easier to navigate, especially for people that are trying to work really hard to make it work. So I don't know. That's just me, though.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. I mean, this technology is not, I don't want to sound like an old fuddy-duddy, but it's not intended for, people in our age bracket. So it takes us a little bit longer to figure it out, right?
Sure.
I mean, and it's not that we can't do it; we can do it. But then on top of that, I mean, actual time, between work and dad life and home life and all of that stuff, I don't have a lot of time to sit down and record stuff. And when I do, it's so freaking late that I'm drained anyways. And you can see it that I'm just beat. So then it doesn't come across as enthusiastic. And, that's part of it. You gotta have the energy.
There's another aspect to it, right? All three of us produce things and give information that we have based off of our point of view, right? We all three have our own favorite types of whiskey. We all interact with whiskey in a different way. We all kind of perceive whiskey in a different way. And that's what makes watching different content creators actually very amusing. Because, let's be real. We all three of us know how whiskey is made. We all three know mash bills for major distilleries. We all three know, who's got the yearly release and who kind of does really good and who kind of struggles, right? Like that's not anything new for any of us, right? So what I think at this point in time, and I'm right there with you, German and Randall, trust me, holy shit, I don't know how you managed to do anything through chemo at all.
Kudos.
I really don't. I've seen people through it. I routinely logged on and I was like, what this dude's still going, he's still doing it. It was truly impressive. But what I would have to say is
cheers, B.
People will they'll come to your channel for personality, and if you have some info after that, that's when you can get some money. So just be authentic to yourself. I mean, you can ask Jerem. I know I ruffle some fucking feathers on Instagram. I know I piss some people off. I know I'm not the most pleasant. But it's like, you know what? At least here you're getting the same motherfucker no matter what happens. So
I did catch your entrance into this stream here with the your blatant love for Garrison Brothers.
Yeah.
As I was trying to talk him up a little.
I wasn't even looking at the camera and I heard that and I'm like, oh, this guy Marshall's on.
Here we go.
Yeah,
I love it. I love it. That's why I love you.
Don't get me started on Buffalo Trace.
No, me neither. No, we'll leave Buffalo Trace alone tonight.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I agree.
Yeah,
it's all
absolutely.
about the people you're following and making sure that they're genuine and doing the right thing. And I don't care that I don't have 100,000 followers. I don't know if I would want 100. I mean, obviously everybody wants that, and everybody wants to quit their day job and drink whiskey in front of a camera for their job. Everybody kind of wants to do that. I mean, I thought about, when I was going through all this bullshit, I realized halfway through, I thought, well, what if I can't do my day job? What if it's just the thing that I can no longer do the only thing I know? the thing I've been
Right.
doing for 25 years. Like, what if I can't do that anymore? And so then I'm like, what is the other thing that I know? And I'm like, I know whiskey. That's it.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
I haven't really diversified myself very well there. So I'm like, so what do I do? Do I just like nut down on YouTube stuff and like, you know, all this? I'm like, it might take 5 years for it to turn into something. Like, I can't wait 5 years. I've already waited this long without making money. Like, I need to make, you know, go out there and make money. Luckily, praise be to God that like I got my facilities back, and I feel like I'm the same person, although a little different. You know, you know, like in a different headspace, because like when you go through something like, and again, I'm not trying to talk about this all night, but when you go through something like what I went through, it changes the way you look at life, period. Everything.
Absolutely, man.
And if it doesn't, you got something wrong with you.
Yeah.
Well, that's true. And like it made you, you know, like I look at my kids differently. Like I used to, not that, you know, I try to be a good dad. Everybody tries to be a good dad and tries to do the right thing. But as dads, and I was talking to a guy this afternoon about this, like when as a father, your main goal is to provide and protect, you know, and when you can't provide for your family, you're like, oh my God, I am useless. I am a useless man. And men don't talk like that with each other. You know what I mean? They don't say those things. So like,
Right.
it was very difficult. And I'm like, but like, that's not all that life is. Life isn't about you breaking your back just to die early and not being around for your kids. You know what I mean? Life is about way more than that. And that's one thing, long story short, one thing that I've learned through all this is like, it's not about live to work, it's work to live. Like you work just enough to make money. You know, and for some of us, that's hard. Like when you're self-employed, doing self-employed things, you have a lot of going out, you have very little coming in, paydays on Friday, you're waiting for paychecks. But like at the same time, it's going to be okay. Like just let it go and everything's going to be fine. And so it's really, that was a mind change. And I know, you know, Marshall said that earlier, like just walking away from something that you've done, and you can continue your story if you want, Marshall. I don't know where you're standing today, or if this was a recent thing that just happened. But like, you know, when you walk away from something that is your bread and butter, like how do you pick up the pieces and continue on from there? You know what I mean? And that's what. That's what's kind of the difficult thing. And luckily enough, I'm able to slowly pick the pieces back up and be like, oh, those are out of order. Those aren't in the right spot. My mind isn't in the right spot. My focus was never in the right spot. So now I can put it in the right spot and have a happier family, have a happier wife, have a happier, you know, all these things. And then therefore make my life a lot easier as well. So I don't know. And I'm hoping that's how it works. And I'm hoping I don't turn back into the same person that I was, because I don't want to do that. You know, not that I was a bad person. I was just, my priorities weren't always in the right spot, you know, and it's unfortunate, but it happens. It happens when you're grinding every day, trying to make ends meet. And then, you know, shit happens, you know.
It's, you know, the euphemism I like to use is, you know, you're on the hamster wheel. And if the only thing you know is that you need to run fast on that hamster wheel, guess what you're going to do? You're going to run fast on that hamster wheel.
Yeah.
So I stepped off the hamster wheel. I'm on my first. Thursday was my last day of work.
Wow. So this is very new.
I had to walk away. There's no way that I could. There's no way that I could sit back and cut loose and enjoy myself and do what it is that I felt like I needed to do for myself, my family, while I was still trying to run that fucking hamster wheel and just hated every waking moment of it, man. So here's what my here's kind of how I'm remedying a lot of things, right? And in no way, shape, or form have I been hit with anything and nowhere near as hard as you have, right? So don't think I'm comparing myself to you in any way. But you know, you say, you know, you say, you want to change your priorities, right? And I agree. I have neglected a lot of things. My health, first and foremost. I'm not a small guy. I'm probably about 50 to 70 pounds overweight. So I need to be able to slim that down. I need to be able to get the diverticulitis under control, which is a very difficult thing to deal with. Get the truck cleaned up, get the garage cleaned up, get the room cleaned up, get everything back organized, get everything back straight. Get to meal prepping, get to doing all the things that I know I should be doing that I have not had the mental aptitude to be able to do. That's why I decided just to run.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean,
So,
and that's the thing. Like everybody in the chat, like they totally get it. And we all come from different backgrounds, and we all have all this different. And I mean, this is going to turn into a therapy session, I guess. But we all come from.
Isn't that what drinking whiskey with buddies is? Therapy session.
That's what it is. Well, and that's the common misconception.
Yeah. And so like everybody can relate to just the daily grind and doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. Well, guess what? When you expect different results and you're doing the same thing over and over again, that's insanity. That's not change. That's not doing the right thing. And I hope and pray that I'm not sitting here being a hypocrite about all this, and then I'm going to turn around and do that. But at the same time, like, it's so easy for us to just get dropped back into the same routine. So like, let's say for you, Marshall, not picking on you, but let's say for you go find work with somebody else. You don't let them take advantage of you like the other company did. You make sure and show your worth to that person. And if they can't do it, you'd be like, peace out, I got to go. And that's the thing. And I think if more people did that and said, hey, I know this, and this, and you can prove that, then they have no reason to belittle you or make you do subpar things that you're not willing to do, or
absolutely
manage people that nobody can manage. I totally get it. I get it.
Yeah, no, it's hard. And
it's hard.
There's a layer, I think, to every job that I've had that I've quit, right? I'm approaching 13 years as a plumber, and I think you're 26, 26 something years, right? When you're the guy out of 6 or 7 employees that gets 3, 4, 5 phone calls a day because other guys can't solve the issues that in your mind are so rudimentarily simple, you kind of get to a point where you can't help but just feel incredibly discouraged at every waking turn. Like, dude, you can't figure out the super simple, like, everybody should know this. If you just sat back and thought about it for 5 seconds, you'd understand it. You can't figure out that problem.
Yeah.
I was surrounded by people and people with a license grade above mine. Okay.
Yeah.
Who were telling me to do things that didn't make any sense, things that I would not do. And I'm like, there's just no way. I can't deal with you people. I can't do this back and forth stuff. It's not going to happen. So,
yeah.
It's super hard. And I'm sure, Jerm, you feel the same thing, in your line of work as well. Is that correct?
I'm at the position now where you were saying you go work for somebody else and you don't let them walk on you, and that's where I'm at now. I've been through that beginning stage, and I'm at a position now where I don't like it. I'm out, and they don't like that. They don't like me having the control in that, because they know that I know that they're going to fold without me behind that wall, and they don't like being in that position. So
that's true. And
I like being in that position. It's rather comforting, you know what I mean? But luckily for me, I don't have to pull that card out. So I haven't really had to yet, and I don't foresee it having to be pulled. But
hey, Jerem, look at Iceman's comment.
I can't.
I'll
So
pull it up. I'll
there
pull
you
it
go.
up.
Can I pull up the chat in this StreamYard thing? I don't know.
Yeah, go over to
Maybe.
the right, hit comments.
I mean, and so it hits everybody. That's the same shit. I mean, it's crazy. Wait, where is he at?
Oh shit, Kyle's on there.
We all know that guy, Kyle.
Yeah.
Ha. But I mean, it's hard. But at the same time, it's like, okay, we know our. I mean, and that's the thing for us, and I'll say men, women, whoever. If you are proficient in your job and you know your job well, you have been trained in your job, whatever your job is. I don't care if you put a sprocket on a thing and make it go down the line. I don't care. If you are badass at that thing that you do, you need to know your worth. And that's all you have to do is know your worth. And if people want to, and I'm not trying to get into politics because that's not what I want to talk about at all. But like if the way the world is right now, if you aren't smart, you're going to die, period. You're going to fall off and nobody's going to find you. So what you need to do is know your worth and be like, hey, I need to be paid X, period. And that's how it is. Because I got an offer from another company here in town that wanted to buy my company out and then have me manage them. Okay, that sounds like a great idea, right? To me,
that sounds like a.
I don't have to worry about my stuff. I can sit back. I don't have to go dig the shovel things, do the things. I just go look at the job, say, hey, you did this wrong, or bid out a big job if they don't know what they're doing. I can do that. That's not a problem. And then I said, okay, now let's talk about money, right? Because that's the big deal. That's what everybody's talking about. And he was 20 to 25,000 lower than I wanted. And I said, peace out. I can't do it. And he's my buddy. He's my good friend. And I said, I can't do it. I can't live off of what you want me to pay, what you want me to get from you. And I said, and I have no ownership of this. I have no ownership. I have zero into this business. You were just using me as a tool. And I don't have a problem with that if you pay the right price. Because I can clock in at 8, leave at 5, and have no worries if you pay me enough for it. But if you want me to be vested in this company, then you're going to have to pay for that. I'm sorry. That's my expertise and my everything that I've gone through in my career makes me worth more than that. And he's like, right, you are worth more than that. I just can't afford you. I said, okay, that's all I needed to know. That's all I needed to know. And he took up a couple of my service calls when I was out, obviously. And, and this is not throwing trash. I got called back, from the customer saying he charged too much. And I'm like, he doesn't work for me. He's not my guy. I said, I referred a company to you. You go work for him. So it's just one of those things like, yeah, what do you do? Where do you go? So yeah, it's hard. It's really hard, but
yeah,
it makes the whiskey taste better for sure.
Absolutely. Speaking of how's the whiskey tasting, how is the whiskey tasting, Mr. 11 Weeks Without a Drop?
Well, I'm on water right now.
Okay.
So the Garrison was good. It wasn't great. I'm wanting it to open up a little more. I don't know if it will. It's different. The midwinter, the SMWS was amazing, like all of them are. I want to go back to it, but I have one other one that I want to open here in a little bit, so I'm going to wait. I thought about pulling off of my infinity barrel right here, but pull a small sample. But let me see. He's gone. Oh, that's got some char in it. All right, so I will. If those of y'all who aren't following along, I can't even read my own writing. So there you go. This is 375 mils of Andalusia white whiskey, 750 mils of Santa Fe Coyote, which is their malt whiskey, which is Colkegan, their malt whiskey. 50 50 milliliters of Jesse from Stillet's LME, liquid malt extract whiskey, 50 milliliters of Jesse's malted corn whiskey. So I put a little corn whiskey in there to give it a little sweetness. 4 ounces of, I know this is going to hurt you, Jerm, 4 ounces of Cedar Ridge Lost Lantern, 4 ounces of Abalor 12, 6 ounces of the Motoset and Son Alexander, whatever that was, and 8 ounces of Westward Cast Strength. So,
okay. What Lost Lantern Cedar Ridge is the single malt sherry finished one?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So what I'm trying to go for in the profile is a sherry forward single malt. But then in that barrel, it's going to age a little more. So, but look, it got some chunks in it. It's got some barrel char in it. What do you got? What's that? Oh, the Ecuador?
Andrew Dower 10-year.
Oh, yeah.
That son of a bitch is dark.
It's dark, man.
Look at that. Looks almost as dark as this one. Where's my camera? There we go.
It's reversed on StreamYard.
Oh, you're doing the Brooklyn?
No, mine's a little darker.
Yeah, yours is a little darker than this. Brooklyn
bit,
Bakery.
It's got this umami like kind of sensation in the back end. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, I know it was. I don't even think anybody twisted your arm. You just came out and said, I might do it a little bit later, and then turned around and grabbed it.
It's my live stream. Shut up. I'll do what I want.
Awesome.
But
I'll do what I want.
But here's the deal. Like with an infinity barrel, you can pull off of it however much, whenever you want. The issue with this, since it does have new make spirit in it, it's gonna be a little. Even though both of those new makes are meant to be drank white, so yeah. I think it'll be fine. Let's see. I'm getting a lot of sherry on the nose, which is good. Y'all talk amongst yourself.
Is the barrel sherry as well?
No, it's a new oak.
Okay. And what kind of barrel is it? Is it a Badmo or a 1030?
Yeah, it's a Badmo. Heavy toast char 1.
Okay.
Dude, that's good. That's already that's good. It needs a little time. You can taste that. Remember when you were talking about that Motoset and Son, how it was real phenolic and like almost sulfurous tasting? I'm getting that through it. And there's only like 4 ounces in there. But yeah. I mean, I think it will mellow out with the other whiskey. There you go. You don't like Revenant Oak. Come on.
I have we've got Marshall turning over a new leaf. He's been drinking some peat.
I love it.
I do too. He still does not like Kilkerran. But
no. No, I do not.
We'll get him there. We'll get him there.
Baby steps. Dude, that's good. Obviously, it's been mellowing for a minute. I didn't put dates on it. Maybe I should have put dates of when I put stuff in. But it's good. It just
ooh.
What do you got?
Is that just standard Revenant Oak?
Yep.
Yeah.
There's like what is that? There is something familiar in that, but I don't know what it is right off the top of my head.
Good.
It's good.
Yeah. No, I mean,
so let me go back and tell you a story. Let me tell you a story, right?
Let's do it.
So when I was first getting into whiskey, nothing but bourbon, right? For the first 2 years, nothing but bourbon. Wouldn't even touch rye whiskey. I was a broken little individual. A buddy of mine, Nathan, who lives over here in Leander with me, brought me a whole bunch of bottles by my house one day. And he's like, dude, you got to try it. And it's Statmaster Nathan there on Discord. And he brings a whole bunch of bottles by, and he brings by the Revenant Oak. And I took a sip out of the standard triple distilled, and I was like, it's kind of weird, kind of moldy. I don't really like it. And then I tried the Revenant Oak, and I spit it back out into the glass. Okay, now keep in mind, I spit it back into the Glen, could not do it. Now, Revenant Oak is so sweetly, it's almost sickeningly sweet now in relation to a lot of the more hardcore stuff I've gotten into. And if you would have told me at the first time that I drank that I would have downed an entire bottle and a half of it myself, I wouldn't have believed you in the slightest. So your palate definitely changes over time. And I tell you what, I was talking to Martin on First Whiskey Franco about this the other day. And I think Jerome was in that live as well.
Probably.
Going over into rum caused my palate to expand in whiskey.
Yeah.
So I can pick out things in whiskey that I've never gotten before after going in and really exploring and just diving headfirst into another category. When I come back into whiskey, there's so many more things that I like, as long as it's not Kilkerran
or Connemara.
No, Connemara will make me throw up.
Connemara, really?
I hate Connemara. Something about that.
It is so light. It is so light.
I hate the taste of Connemara.
Oh my gosh!
I mean, and I've tried it now 2 or 3 times, and I can't even swallow it. Wow.
I mean,
the frog in my throat.
You've given it a shot. That's all you can ask for. If you don't like it, you don't like it.
I mean, there's very few, and I say very few whiskeys that I'm just like, nope, I can't do that. I'll work through it, and I might not ever drink it again. But like, I'm pretty particular when I pick up a bottle. Like when I buy a bottle, I do a little bit of research on it, or I know I'm gonna enjoy it. But there's very few bottles like, oh, that's a mixer for sure. Like there's very few of those. But
I'm one of the only people I know that'll dump a bottle out.
Oh
yeah.
Don't do that.
Falcone's Brimstone. That in the trash can. That was gross.
Okay, I'm gonna do a shameless plug real fast. For all of you in the chat that don't know, I have challenge coins available. Little Whiskey Shaman challenge coins.
And look, by the way, absolutely the coolest challenge coin I have ever seen.
I mean, absolutely. It's pretty cool.
You can't beat that.
Yeah. No, it's cool.
And then
Mark,
keep your spirits up.
I don't know if you have one yet, but
no, you see,
you've got the old school one. Oh gosh. You've got the old whiskey business one. Okay, I'll get you another one. I meant to get you. It still says keep your spirits up. So that's been my moniker for a while, and it means even more now. Like, now in this world, it's like, seriously, just keep your spirits up. And that's kind of like what we're talking about through all of this is like just keeping your spirits up and like plowing through it and getting to the good stuff. I mean, look, we got Ozark. I have mine. Ben, I have mine. It's awesome.
You can make 50 of these all you want. I'm still going to use this one.
Oh yeah. No, it's fine.
So we cut you off of your shameless plug. Where do you get those challenge coins at, Randall?
Oh, you just DM me. Just DM me and I'll get you one. I tried. I had one guy. He wanted one and he was in Scotland. He's my buddy. I'll ship to Scotland. Yeah. Okay. So it's super expensive to ship overseas. So if you are overseas, we need to talk about that because when you're paying 3 times as much as the challenge coin is worth just to ship it over there, that's a thing. It needs to be worth my while and your while. I can't get it through the black market or over there. So if you're in the lower 48, it's fairly easy. I might even send you some samples. I've got a bunch of samples that I can send. Oh, look, this is a sample of Black Art 8.1. What? Yeah, that's going out.
I got a sample of 9.1, I think.
The 8.1 is 26-year-old, so pretty good stuff.
That's kind of the theme for tonight. We're cracking bottles open, right?
Yeah, we are. What are you cracking? I see a purple top.
Yeah. So SMWS, this is distillery 140.11. So this is Balcones.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, I had their corn, their the CR 2.1 or CR 2.2, and it was a
CW. Yep.
Yeah, so it was the 5-year-old corn at 68.6. It was finished in tequila casks.
Yeah. Kind of like the Huntos barrel that they did that one time. Go ahead. There you go. All right, Marshall, what do you have to open?
Currently, I think I have everything in my collection open right now, dude.
Oh man.
Like I think I've got everything. Every bottle I have is open.
Really? Wow. Okay.
Oh,
Well,
I try to do that same way,
so.
Randall. I try to open everything. If you tell yourself you're going to save it for a special occasion, right now is a special occasion.
Special occasion, and so let me finish my water.
I can open up a tiny little Weller.
Ooh,
I mean, that's up to you.
That's cute.
Weller's good. That's a cute Weller.
That's a cute little guy.
That's a cute guy.
Okay, so Iceman brought up a good point. Why?
That's right.
What did you start your Discord for?
Well, for one, like I said earlier, I want to get more out there in the community, and I want there to be a landing place for people that want to talk about the stuff that I'm talking about. Like, because everybody has a Discord and everybody's doing their little thing and they have their own little chats going on. But like, I felt like maybe like I posted that I was waiting in line at Garrison at 6 o'clock in the morning, and all of this stuff, like just like kind of cool stuff that's going on in my thing, and people can follow along in that. Oh, cracking bottles. Uh-oh. He's running downstairs to get something.
There you go, brother.
With Michael, you never know what he's got about to pull up.
So, one of the reasons that one of the things I said I wanted to crack open some good bottles, because as we well know, and if you know my story of cancer journey and stuff like that, I almost died. I literally almost died. Had to be air flighted to San Antonio. It was a huge deal. Had a pulmonary embolism, 23% chance of living from that. Anyway, so then I came back home after I recovered a little bit, came back home, and I'm looking at all my whiskey, and I'm like, there's a lot of whiskey that's unopened. What is my wife going to do with all that whiskey? She don't drink whiskey. What is my wife going to do with that? She doesn't know.
Leave me as an emergency contact.
Yeah, I mean, I can help her out.
I mean, I'll drive over to Fredericksburg. It's only an hour and a half. It's okay.
Yeah, she doesn't know that this bottle is worth some money. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not trying to make.
Hey, it's all good. I'll take it off her hands. It's okay.
So the last bottle that I wanted to open was something that I ran into. And it's pretty special to me. It's the Thomas Handy. Thomas H. Handy.
That's my favorite out of the B-Tag lineup.
If I'm gonna look for a Buffalo Trace anything, it's probably gonna be that one.
Dude, that 2019 Handy was by far my favorite rye.
I mean, look, it's worth nothing now. I crack it. And see, that's the thing. I know I've ranted about this in the past, and I know you guys probably have too. This whole secondary market BS that's going on.
Bullshit.
It's crazy. Open the damn bottle and drink the whiskey. Drink the whiskey. Right. That's all I'm going to say.
Did you happen to catch the story? I believe Randall Sullivan put it out there on his thing. First time ever, a bottle flipper was arrested for bootlegging. Mm-hmm. The charge for secondary market playing was bootlegging. I don't think the charges will stick. I don't think he'll get in any trouble, but it's a step in the right direction. It is definitely something I hope gains some traction, and maybe we can start curbing the shit out of this secondary market, because it ruins it for the people who actually enjoy it.
Well, I mean, like so the secondary market, as detrimental as it is, one of the things that it does do is it takes a $40 or $50 Eagle Rare it makes it the most amazing gift for anybody coming in. Like this bottle is so highly coveted that people will go fucking apeshit. They'll go nuts just to get a hold of one of these. And I have several just laying around.
Yep.
Now this one's actually a twins liquor single barrel, right? But this is the best gift you can give somebody who is just getting into whiskey. Because what are the first things you see when you jump on Facebook groups and forums, Reddit, anything? Buffalo Trace. So,
yeah, I mean it's crazy. It really is. And I mean, I don't understand it because like I've never been about, secondhand, doing shit. But at the same time, like I get why people do that because there's such a crave. And that's why I told people a while back, I said, I feel like whiskey and it's not going to hurt us, but I feel like whiskey's going to hit a dip, especially bourbon. I feel like it's going to hit a dip real hard.
It's coming, man. I mean, it's coming.
The secondary market is going outrageous. I mean, when that damn Traveler whiskey that just came out, the old Chris Staples, old fashioned ways, he'll know about this one. He had to make a cocktail out of it. He's like, I can't drink it, So, and then his cocktail wasn't even great. So, it's like it's just one of those things. But okay, let's talk about this handy real fast. This is the 2023 handy 65.4, 130.9%. So I'm not going light tonight, evidently. Everything I picked is almost cast strength, which is kind of crazy. But
so on that, you have the freshest palate of any of us.
Absolutely. Sure. I'm sure.
When now, and I know you fairly well at this point, I feel. Give me the sensation of that first time that whiskey hit your palate after weeks of not drinking. How euphoric was that experience?
It was okay. And this is gonna get creepy. It was
Let's go. Let's go, buddy.
That's what it was. So if y'all don't know Old Fashioned Blaze, he loves to make cocktails with whiskeys, and so he's been doing a lot. He's been doing a lot of reviews and stuff like that, and he's doing some cool stuff. But he's gone through the Traveler. He tasted it. He didn't review it. He's like, it's okay. Then he made a cocktail out of it. It's okay. So now he's made a better one. So we'll see what happens. So
Booker's 2303.
All right, buddy.
Dude, I only see one of those bottles and it's $170 here, and I'm like,
Nope.
I'm not spending that much money for Bookers.
Yeah,
Do not spend that much money. But here's the other thing. That's what the secondary market is also doing. So the stores are going, okay, I can put this out for my regular markup, right? And sell it. And that guy's going to come in here and buy 6 of them. He's going to turn around, make it to our parking lot and sell all 6 of those bottles for 3 times what he paid.
Absolutely.
Why shouldn't I get that money? The store owner says. So now they put it on the shelf for twice their regular markup, 3 times their regular markup. That's another thing that's going to help curb that secondary market, but at the same time, that keeps us out of that store. I will walk into a store, and if I see something, let's just say I see Blanton's $200 or EHT $150, I turn around and walk right out. I don't even look. I don't even look what they have. They could have the best deal on something that I want sitting right there, but I'm not going to buy it from them because I think they're doing shady things. And they're the ones that are going to get hurt by people doing that stuff.
Well, that's why Buffalo Trace bought out the vast majority of Capital Distribution.
Wow, that's a whole different game right there.
He says he only paid $92 for it.
Yeah,
so,
hey,
that's
a little
better.
high. But
he bought 2 of them that day. We secondary marketed his other one to myself for $92. Actually, I think. What's that?
So that's where you got yours at then?
Yeah. So he found it in a store, actually where we're going next weekend. And I think I had my brother-in-law pick it up for me, but he brought it to me. And that bottle, that Booker's, never got opened. It got put into my charity fundraiser prize, and somebody else got it. They donated money to the charity, and they ended up winning that bottle for a prize.
That's crazy.
So, and I saw Chris was in here earlier. Chris, I'm the one that won the barrel from Randall's giveaway. That also went in the prize for that same charity donation. And as a group of 100 people, less than 100 people, we raised just under $2,000 for Boys and Girls Club. And we did a really good job. That barrel found itself a cool home. And I'm not quite sure what's in it yet, but I'll find out here shortly.
That's awesome. That's good to hear. That's good to hear, because that's part of what Chris wants to do. He loves giving back to the community and stuff like that as well. So it's like, if him seeing it going in a good place is awesome. People that want to use it.
That's what we should be doing with this. I mean, you know, and in all honesty, all of this is a luxury. All right. There's 80% of the people in this world can't do that. They can't hardly put, I don't know about 80%. Yeah. That was a bad number to throw, but there's a lot of people in this world that have a hard time putting food on their plate, that have, you know, an issue because they can't send their kids to school. You know, all of that kind of stuff. We have a luxury, right? Everybody in this community is living a luxury. When even if you have 5 bottles on your shelf, that's 5 more bottles than a lot of people can afford. So to be able to give back to a local organization or community or unfortunate people, you know, any of that, right? It's something that's super important to me as this goes. And I think a lot of people in this community, in the whiskey community, I think they feel that same way, because I see a lot of charitable drives, donations, all that kind of stuff. And I love that. I absolutely love it.
It's also big in cigar communities as well.
Yep. Yeah. Cigars, same way. Yep.
All right. So Ben is asking, tell me your thoughts on the handy. So I guess I'm doing tasting notes on the handy, which, I mean, if it's a, you know, no secondary market, it goes for what? $900, whatever.
It tastes like rye.
It tastes like a lot of buddy that I just washed down the drain. No,
what'd you spend on it?
The nose is pretty light, really, for being as high proof as it is. I get a little bit of like that. I call it, like with rye whiskey, I get like it's like a spearmint, but it's kind of like a spearmint grassy note a little bit. And so I get a lot of that. Super sweet smelling. Almost like honeysuckle sweet. Like, I guess I'm running through a spring meadow or something. I don't know.
Marshall, do you know the mash bill on the handies? I don't, off the top of my head.
70-something% rye. I don't know no,
it's not 95.5.
It's like 56% rye, and then a super high amount of corn. I don't remember the exact mash bill, but it's one of those barely legal ryes.
Yeah. Okay, so it's 51 to 55, a bunch of corn, probably barley. I'm guessing no wheat.
No, probably not.
I don't think so. I think it's a 3-grain mash bill.
Yeah, okay. It's 3. And it doesn't even show. It doesn't even say the age. Some people say it's 10.
Every year is different.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. They're all different.
So with the handies, the general consensus on handy is that it's somewhere between an 8 and a 12-year-old product, generally speaking.
Yeah.
So just assume that's your age range.
We'll just call it 10-year-old. But on the palate, it's really light and almost fruity, like spirit. Like it's got a little bit of like juicy fruit, but then like a little bit of spearmint at it. So like whenever you were a kid, and see, I always take things back to like a sensory thing from when I was in past experiences. So like when you were a kid and you would put way too much bubble gum in your mouth, you'd have a juicy fruit over here, and then you jump a spearmint over here. Just tasted like that's kind of what I'm getting. It has a fruitiness to it, but then it also has that spearmint, like that typical rye note. Okay. There you go. That's about as close as you're going to get tonight, right?
At 1/4 of the age.
Yeah.
That might be the same mash bill as the
It
handy.
It is the same mash bill.
Okay, that's what I thought. So the Sazerac is the different mash bill, different rye mash bill. Yeah. Okay.
The Sazerac's made by what? The subsidiary that does the overproduction for Bardstown?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Okay.
Oh wow, that's almost sickeningly sweet. On the nose, I was like, wow, that was sweet.
Well, this Balcones is pretty darn good. This is Sauternes finish Balcones at 5-year-old.
I don't know about you.
Go ahead.
I don't know about you, but I salivate when I smell that.
Mm-hmm. It's almost a little savory, but it's almost. Of course, I've been cooking barbecue all day, so I smell like smoking meat. But it's almost like if you were to do like a sweet rub or something on some meat, and it's like savory, that savory sweetness to it. I don't know.
Like
it's
charcoal molasses.
Maybe it's just I'm smelling my man essence.
There you go.
Or we're all just full of shit. One of the two.
Probably. It tastes like crap is what it tastes like. But no. I mean,
You guys
so
getting into your fancy pants rise. I guess I'm gonna have to find a fancy pants rise.
Here we go. I guess we're all drinking. We're all drinking rye now.
I mean, I drank rye all night last night on the live stream.
Okay.
And, I was a hurt unit this morning.
Ooh.
What are you doing?
That is sweet. That's really sweet.
There you go. Okay.
10-year Michters. I do not have any Buffalo Trace products at the moment, except for that one bottle of Stag right there.
This is the only one I have open.
This is the only one I have. I just don't buy Buffalo Trace. If I saw some of those, like the handies and stuff, at a reasonable price,
MSRP, I think the handy's worth buying.
That's my reasonable price, MSRP, or maybe $5 or $6 over because of our state here. We always charge an extra $5-6, but
now let's just be real. If you step up your rye experience, okay, there's only one bottle of rye I recommend to step up that authentic rye experience. Let me introduce you to Redwood Empire's Rocket Top Rye. These things, Randall, if you haven't tried this yet, these ryes are phenomenal, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Holy moly. These are so good.
I was actually hoping you were going to say one of these two guys, Good Cop or Bad Cop.
I mean, I like the Good Cop.
It's not that Redwood Empire. I understand.
The Bad Cop is better, in my opinion. Okay. But that Rocket Top just hits. That 4-grain mash bill, real good, robust complexity. I like it.
What'd you say, Randall?
So we got a fuck it, we're drinking rye, and now I'm having rye next. So we're all gonna drink rye.
This starting to sound like Friday night.
Friday, yeah. No, it's Saturday, but still.
Every day is a good day for rye.
And see, that's the thing. Like people, they shrug away from rye because they're like, "Oh, I don't like that medicinal herbal note." Blah blah blah.
It's too spicy.
It's too spicy, but at the same time, like if you can find a good rye, like I got, and I know Smoke Wagon has its own little issues. It's MGP and blah blah blah. But I got a Smoke Wagon. Oh yeah, that blackened. Yeah, that one's good. I got a Smoke Wagon malted rye, and dude, that thing was awesome. You know what I mean?
Well, that's good to know. I have my issue with that one is calling it malted rye when it's just rye with malted barley.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's all. I mean, we I think we all personally and together have talked about transparency, and just if you're doing a thing, do the thing right, do the thing right, and that's one of the things.
I don't know. I don't necessarily think that's a transparency issue as much as it is a just poor choice of words for what you're going to call it. I mean, realistically, it's just a rye.
Yeah.
It doesn't have any corn in it. Cornless rye would be better. What is that? New Riff bourbon? Is that bourbon or rye?
Kyle's drinking that one tonight too. So
hey, good job, Kyle.
Dude,
good job.
We
Kyle.
have some fun. Oh, so the local liquor store to me, or I say local, the liquor store I shop at all the time just got a 139 proof Jack Daniel's single barrel rye store pick in.
Shut up.
Dude, I've got to buy it. But I've got to buy it.
You got to buy two.
Mm-hmm.
So that leads me to a caveat, I guess. So when you're picking whiskeys to drink, and I mean, I know we all do it, we kind of have like a game plan of what we're going to start out with. What maybe we don't. Maybe we just find a whiskey and pick it up. Like, I tend to go with something light at first, and then build my way into something harder. And say if I'm going to the peat realm, the peat is the last thing I do because it obviously screws up everything on your palate. But like for tonight, I wanted to I'm going to say finish with the handy, because I can't stay up like y'all till 2:00 in the morning. So
it's okay.
I ain't doing it. It was 3. It was 3 yesterday, and I can't do that again.
No, we ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. So like I like to finish with the rye because it's a little bit spicy. It gives you what you want out of it. It's almost, I'm going to say this, it's almost like the peated whiskey of bourbon. You know what I mean? Like it's just kind of gives you that little something else, especially if you're getting something that's not, which this one is technically a barely legal or whatever, but still it has enough rye character in there that you're going to get something. And some people get really sweet notes out of rye. This one to me tonight, of course, I'm not getting, I mean, I got a little sweetness on the nose, but on the taste, I get a lot of corn, but then that's pretty much it. It's not really sweet on the taste other than the corn.
You know what I think what I like about rye is not necessarily the front palate. Once you swallow and you sit there for a minute, right there on the back of the tongue, on the sides of your tongue, on the outsides, there's this nice little tingle. There's this nice little bit of it just kind of lingers there on the back side of the tongue in a very similar way to my favorite spirit, rum. Kind of lingers on the back side of that tongue a little bit. And then you just kind of take that deep breath, and all of a sudden you just kind of get this influx of flavor, this smell, this sensation that comes in through your nostrils. And I think that's the reason why I gravitate towards rye. And I think that's the reason why some people are big single malt guys. Some people are big bourbon guys, right? It's the way in which a spirit interacts with your palate, and the way that it sits on your palate kind of drives you to like one thing or another. So rye and rum for me hit in a very similar way. Bourbon tends to be fairly thin, and malt's just all over the fucking place. I have not narrowed down what the fuck malt is yet.
Kyle, I can't say that I have ever picked up specifically red velvet cake on a rye. That's really cool. Chocolate for sure. Yep.
Red velvet cake.
So,
Kyle, what rye are you drinking?
Yeah, I really kind of want to pick that up.
He's on the new riff right now.
No, but I mean that he's finding red velvet cake.
Yeah, I know, because I don't really get that.
I mean, yeah, and that's the other part about this is everybody's palate is way different.
Yeah, it's objective.
Right. But red velvet cake. So yeah, that would be awesome. I would love that. Yeah, okay. Right. But I mean, like, okay, so all right. So chocolate notes, maybe some cream cheese frosting notes with it. that kind of stuff. Okay. All right. That makes sense. Oh, that's Iceman answering.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I guess if I sit there and think about Red Velvet, I can kind of get it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not, you know, I have to go into that like, hey, I want Red Velvet. I can get it. It's kind of strange how you can trick your mind. Like if you blind poured something and you didn't know you had a $900 bottle of whiskey or whatever in the list, like you're gonna pick the one that you like the most. But if I told you I'm pouring you this whiskey, you're automatically gonna think it's better just because you know it's allocated or whatever. So like I get where like the taste is subjective, but it's also like it can be influenced so much.
Right.
Randall, one of the things I'm going to say on that is that only works up until a certain point when somebody has been familiar enough with whiskey for so long that they see past the bullshit.
Yeah.
Because the Leopold 3 Chambers rye, which people go nuts about, I think it sucks.
Really?
I think it sucks. It's got the best nose of a rye whiskey I've ever had. That palate sucks so bad that when I got it for free at the fucking Bastards Ball, I looked at the guy and I said, "Are you kidding me? Like, are you actually joking? This is tasteless and it's just not good." But it had the greatest nose ever, and and Macallan's like that too. Macallan has an amazing nose. Shit palate. Yeah. So it's one of the things where I've got very expensive bottles in my collection, as the both of you two do. Yeah. And I can say one thing: I have bottles that cost me $150 that I don't touch. I have bottles that are $30 that I will devour 6 of them. Like, I'm not joking.
And it's because you like the $30 bottle better than
Because because the complexity, the layered complexity I get out of $30 is better than what I got out of 150.
Yeah.
That's why money to an experienced person does not equate to shit. As soon as I hear a price tag over $150, that's an immediate turnoff for me, no questions asked. Like I don't want it past 150 is where I'm drawing my line. I want a bottle of rum in town, and I know exactly where it's sitting. Nobody's gonna fucking touch it except for somebody like me, and it's $330. There's no bottle in fucking existence to me that's worth $330. Therefore, I will not touch it, and that's MSRP.
Yeah, see, I don't know. I mean, there's a reason and a point in time when the whiskey that's put into a bottle starts to climb up in price. Yeah. And, obviously, the older they are, the higher ages, you're going to get that because it costs you this much to make it. It costs you this much to store it for those years. And then on top of that, you lost how much of it you lost. Right. Yeah. So obviously there's an actual mathematical equation to figure out what every bottle that you got out of that barrel cost you. Like, this is how much it cost you. And then whatever markup you want to make on it, you're going to make on it, blah, blah, blah. And then you add in the distributor BS and the store BS and all that. Right. So, I mean, there is legitimately bottles out there that probably should cost $300, $400, $500. I don't know. Stretching out over that, I mean, some of these coming in at $2,500. I don't see that legitimately possible. Yeah. I mean, because the ingredients didn't change, right? Your 10-year-old that you can sell for, $50, $60. Okay. I don't understand how your 21-year-old can be $1,300. Yes, I mean, there's definitely got to be a price increase, but right, 1,300 per 130% or whatever. I'm not doing math today. But there is a point in time when the price has become ridiculous. Yeah. But at $330, that seems to me a fair, reasonable thing. I mean, probably some of these up to, you know, 800-900, I'm sure are not stretching too far.
You know,
But
it's just my thing. And this is a bottle of rum. So it's
yeah.
not whiskey. With aged whiskey and aged rum are two very different components. Okay. This is a bottle of aged rum. I have not tried this rum. I want it for a very shallow circumstance. Like for a very shallow reason. I want this bottle of rum. I don't want to pay $330 for it.
Yeah.
Shelf candy.
So it's one of those things where I'm like, you know, would I pay $150 for a scotch that I had no idea how it tasted on a whim? Yeah, sure. Why not? And as you can tell, I bought this when you were with me, Germ. This is not going to last long.
I mean, you had some opinions that helped too. So I mean, it wasn't like 100% blind.
Well, I know you're a sucker for sauternes, so I was trying to impress you.
I know.
and Kyle's right. You know, somebody eventually is going to fade
eventually.
Because and that's one of the things I talked about recently is the fact that there's people out there with unlimited amounts of money. They have so much money, they're just buying bottles just to say that they have everything in the BTAC. And not only everything, but I got 10 deep of everything BTAC. And they don't care if they have to pay $1,500 a bottle, $5,000 a bottle. They buy it because they have an unlimited income because everything's cryptocurrency now. And, you know, it's all fake money, I guess, you know.
Right.
But good to see you, Iceman. Thank you.
Cheers, Iceman.
I'm about to get off too. I'm fading pretty fast.
We're just getting started, Randall. Come on,
three whiskeys in. So I'm going to finish out with the one I started with. Just a small pour of this midwinter celebration. Just to cheers everybody. I'm not leaving just yet, but you know.
What is that? 36? I don't think I have 36.
It's okay. It's a 12-year-old Speyside PX finish. If you can find something there. But I mean, yeah, it's really hard. He said now he's about to start drinking. Like, what the hell? Iceman, don't do that.
So here's something that I've learned as somebody who also does YouTube, not as much as I used to, and I do miss doing it because there's a fun aspect to it. 2 hours on a live, and especially for as much time as you spent by yourself there, it's actually a very taxing thing to keep up with.
It is.
And people don't seem to like. And if you haven't done video content creation, if you have not tried to entertain a live, especially by yourself, you don't know how exhausting that shit really is. It's a mental drain. It's a physical drain. There were times where I would do a YouTube live stream, and I would go on for an hour, and I would do rum news, and I would do things like that, and I would just shut the whole thing down and just leave. I would go to bed. Yeah. I'd leave rum and whiskey in a glass, and I would just go to bed, right? Because I just felt like it was such a taxing experience.
And old-fashioned ways, it's not. I mean, I appreciate everything you're saying, and I love you, but like, I'm not trying to be brave by sharing my story. I understand it does suck, and I appreciate that I inspire people. It's not brave, and I'm going to get a little spiritual with y'all. And if you're not into spirituality, that's fine. But it was the Lord coming into me and saying, "Hey, I got you through all this." So it's just one of those things where, like, I was the vessel. This is what I needed to go through. Like, I didn't really, you know, kind of. I did question it a little bit because obviously, as human, that's what we do is we question our reality, right?
Human nature, yeah.
We question these things, but at the same time, it's like it is what it is. And I hate that word, you know, I hate saying that phrase. It is what it is, because it really isn't what it is. You know what I mean? You make it what it is. but I was like, okay, so this happened. We're going to deal with it. Screw it. Let's go. You know, and then my wife was trying to think about all these other alternative things to treatment and stuff like that. I said, no, I feel like this is the best bet. I've prayed about it. I've done this thing, and this is the route we need to go. It was just a thing, you know, and it just worked out the way it worked out. And and again, wasn't my hands. It wasn't my hands doing it. I was the vessel that was put in place. And if that's a testament to you guys, I appreciate it. And I love it. And I want to be that testament. But at the same time, I guess to me, I don't like the doting on me, because I feel like it's all I did was sit there and get injections of chemo into my chest. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
And that's another thing that they don't tell you about when you're doing chemo. They don't tell you about, and I'll show you. I don't have a problem. You see that? How red my shit is? That is a port that they had to put in underneath my skin. And then they injected poison into my skin.
Yeah.
They had to shave my chest first, which was weird, right? But like, and then so like you're just sitting there letting them pump all this poison into you, and how do you not have some sort of visceral reaction to it? Like not only mental, physical, but spiritual reaction. And I don't care, you know, like you can believe whatever you want to believe. You can believe in, you know, energy or whatever you believe in, that it all takes part into whatever this is, you know, whatever is happening. You actually go into a different place when all this crap is happening to you. I mean, yeah, Old Fashioned Way said it right. He chose you to be strong enough. Not everybody can do this journey. I totally agree with you. I agree with you, Doc. I mean, it's one of those things where, you know, if I hate to say I was chosen for this, but you know, if he chose me to be a testament to other people, that's fine. I have very strong shoulders. I've been carrying the weight of my entire company and other companies that I worked for a long time. So I have no problem with carrying this weight as well. And if it helps one person, like if it helps one person, that's I did my job for the day. But at the same time, it's like I don't like being doted on at the same time. But I guess that's kind of what this live stream is about. It's about, hey, thank you to the community, but also like, hey, I'm celebrating. Come celebrate with me. I guess that was the whole
There you
thing.
go.
Now, Randall, there's and Jeremy, you probably agree, there's a common theme, I guess, a common kind of stereotype that, you know, men don't talk about their feelings, men don't talk about their struggles, men don't talk. That's bullshit, right? Like, all that has done is put us in further and further and further detriment over the last 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 generations of men. I am here to say that I have not struggled with anything half 1/100th as difficult as what you just went through, right? And I have realized that if I was to have stayed quiet and stayed where I am and done what the boss tells me to do, despite the fact that I adamantly disagreed with every fiber of my being in what I was told to do, that would have led to me being a lot more miserable, a lot more just angry and selfish. I'm already angry enough. Ask Germ. I'm already fucking angry enough in the world as it is. Okay? So when I met you technically for the first time, right? You know, I didn't know you from a fucking man in the moon. And to be honest, like, you know, it's easy for me and you to just jump into a conversation, because guess what? There's 18 hours of plumbing conversations we can have. Right? There's 25 to 50 hours of whiskey conversations that we can have.
Right.
But there's maybe 1 hour of legitimate, heartfelt conversation we can have. And that's the part that's wrong. That's the segment that's wrong. You know, you should not feel bad, or you should not feel guilty, or you should not feel like that in some way, shape, and form you are bringing anybody down by talking about anything that has gone on. If there is a feeling that I have, that you have, that Germ has, where in any way, shape, and form we are off put or shut out or whatever, right? We feel like we're a burden to somebody. We feel like somebody's a burden to us. Like that kind of stuff has to be communicated. That stuff has to be brought out, and it has to be, you know, and dude, you got to trudge some shit up. And what I have found is there's definitely a social line in which you can cross on a social media platform, right? In which, when you're somebody like me who's just a pure outright asshole, you're like, neither one of you do are disagreeing, because you know
He's not wrong.
you know you can say things that you probably shouldn't, but at the same time, like not saying that thing that's on the back of your mind, not saying that thing that you really need to, or not communicating that feeling or that emotion that you need to, is wrong. Like, I'm gonna come out here and say it, man. Like, my number one fear in my entire life, that the only thing in this world that scares the shit out of me, is not being able to raise my son.
Absolutely.
It's the only thing that scares the ungodly shit out of me, dude. Like, for the first 3 to 4 years of his life, every single night I would leave an Instagram live, I would leave a YouTube, I would leave a Discord call, I would leave, you know, I would stop playing video games, I'd stop watching TV, I'd whatever, or even in the middle of the night, I'd get up and I'd just walk in there and I'd just check on him.
Yep.
Right? And that's just because that's my number one fear. And truly, if you can't acknowledge that fear, then you can't face that fear. There's no way for you to handle it. And not to say that if something, you know, if my greatest fear were to come to some form of reality, that I would even be here. Y'all wouldn't see me for fucking weeks, plain and simple. Yeah. But it's one of the things where, like, you know, that's my fear, right? My second fear is spiders. Fuck spiders. Fuck spiders, man. They give me the fucking dude. I can't fucking do it, man.
That's not where I was expecting you to go, but okay.
No, dude, I can't do fucking spiders, right? Like, oh no, buddy. I will run like a fucking little girl away from a goddamn spider. I'll run away fucking screaming. I'll piss myself. I don't give a fuck. I gotta get the fuck away, okay?
That's funny.
Which sucks because I'm a plumber.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna run into them.
Yeah,
all the fucking time. Like I carry and Randall may know where I'm going with this. When I get up underneath the house to go do a repipe or check a leak or something, I carry my propane torch with me.
Yep.
With a lighter in my pocket, because I will torch whole nests, whole spiders. I will torch them, little sons of bitches.
Mm-hmm.
I figured that happened at some point in time. But no, man, I'm right there with you. Yeah, you know, not being able to, or doing it the wrong way, raising the kid. Yeah, absolutely, man. That's a big fear. Right behind that is you know, I don't ever want to be my dad. And the hard part about that is, you know, I am who I am. I don't want to say because of my dad, but
because of the circumstances that your dad left you in.
Yeah, you know, and I still talk to him. But he's, you know, it's more of a business relationship than it is a father-son relationship. And
well, I
made my peace with it a long time ago, long time ago, and I'm good with that. But I don't want Noah to ever have to make that peace. So,
oh, dude, it's the same way. Like me and my dad's been a plumber for almost 30 years, and my grandfather was a plumber for over 30 years. So it's a thing where I'm like, you know, with my dad, we only talk about plumbing or guns. That's the only thing we talk about. Like, that's it. So, you know, I'd like my son not to resent me for the rest of his life the way that I somewhat resent my family.
Yep.
So it's something, yeah, like that's the thing I think that really gets to me. And you know, when Randall first sent me that message, right? And he told me about that. Like I was and I was drinking whiskey. I was just kind of chillaxing here at the house. And he sent me that, and immediately, man, like my throat went to my fucking stomach. Like I could not. I'm like, I'm like, fuck, I don't know Randall all that much. But like my throat went to my stomach and I said, motherfucker, oh my God, that's a shit show. How in the fuck do you process that? I couldn't even begin to think about how to process that. And you were processing it. You'd already processed it for the most part. And it was something where you know, it was a moment of face your fear, because you never know when that point in time in which you do face your fear will come.
Absolutely.
And Randall, I gotta say, man, like, you know, I am overwhelmingly thrilled. Like overwhelmingly thrilled. And I just like a minute ago when I muted, I told my wife for the first time, because I didn't talk to my wife about my whiskey buddies. It's typically two separate things. But I told her, you just got, you know, you're free and clear. And she was very thankful. She's like, "Oh, that's fantastic. I'm great. You know, I'm grateful. I'm thankful that he's you know, good to go." And the first thing I said is, I'm like, "Yeah, but I'm still gonna kick his ass in the fucking chili contest."
Yep. Well, I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, you know, no mercy, no mercy,
No mercy.
not in
no
a
mercy.
I mean, I'm coming for you, buddy. Just be aware, I'm coming for you.
That's fine. Bring it, brother. Let's go. But no, I appreciate that. And what it does is it gives okay, so it gives me not retribution, redemption, and it gives you guys an uplift of like, hey, if he can go through, which not trying to be the martyr for everybody else, but if he can go through this, and I will tell you right now that the cancer that I dealt with is the easiest cancer that you can have. Okay. Besides pancreatic or one of the other ones. There's another one that you literally take a pill and it goes away. Like mine was a very harsh treatment, but it was a very short treatment. Like when I was in chemo, there was people that have been in there for 5 years still getting chemo for whatever they have. And they looked horrible. And like literally, I thought, I'm going to lose all this weight. It's going to be amazing. I'm going to slim down. I'm going to get ripped. It'll be fun. No, that didn't happen. I was 9 weeks in and done. And I was like, oh shit. And then they gave me a bunch of steroids, which, you know, steroids, they just screw your body up to begin with. So I'm like, oh, that didn't do anything other than make me not taste anything for 9 weeks. That sucked. So yeah, I mean, I no, it makes a whole lot of sense. It really does. And that is the whole point of, and I hate to give it to the whole existence part of it, but like we're on this earth for a certain amount of time, for a short time, and the journey that we lead, what are we doing with it? And I feel like that's kind of like what I've come to through all this is like, where am I going from here? Like, do I want to continue doing the same thing I was doing, or do I want to venture out and do something different? Like, and so, and I think what it does is it puts a light underneath everybody that, and I'm not going to say, this is going to sound kind of cheesy, but everybody that I've touched, not sexually, but I've touched, and, you know, and it makes them think like, well, shit, what am I doing? Like he can go through this. Like I need to do something, you know, like I feel like I need to be a little better, or I need to like step up or whatever. So it is a thing, and I get it, but like I personally am not that type of person. Like even at like birthdays or something like that, I don't want to be doted on. I don't want to be like celebrated. You know what I mean? Which I get. Right. I totally get that mindset. But like with this, like I feel like this is something which life is worth celebrating. I get it. The whole point of life is worth celebrating. But like this was something a little bit different. It was a little, and it has literally changed the way I feel about things. So therefore, that's you know, that's why we're here right now. You know, why we're talking right now. It's because I feel that like whoever's listening to this, the couple of people that are in here listening to this, get something out of this. And even if it's just us three sitting here bullshitting, even if it's just us three getting something that we need to get us through tomorrow. I'm not trying to get you through the rest of your life. If I can get you through tomorrow, right, make you not pull the trigger tonight, then we've done our job. That's all we can do as as friends and whiskey lovers and rum lovers, I guess, whatever.
No, just tonight I'm drinking whiskey. Okay, you're safe tonight. I'm drinking whiskey.
I appreciate that. So tomorrow, yeah, no. So I'm gonna wrap it up with that because I feel like, okay, Jerem, you haven't said a whole lot. If you have anything you want to say real fast, please shoot at it because I want to hear from both sides. Not that you guys are like the good and the bad. Like I don't want to point it at that, but like
I'll be the bad guy.
Yeah, come on, you're a teddy bear.
Kind of are.
I'm an angry teddy bear.
No, yeah, I'm angry. You're like Ted, but
no, man. So you dropped the news on me, when you got it, and the whole time, I've had nothing but positive thoughts, trying to send you positive thoughts, positivity. And I know life gets in the way sometimes, and I couldn't check on you every day, but I tried to check in on you as many times as I could, and just let you know we were thinking about you up here, and positive thoughts your way, and I know coming down to the end here, I checked in on you a little bit more often because you were waiting on news and waiting on this and waiting on that. So, but yeah, when you invited me onto this, I said, oh yeah, for sure. 100% I'm in. I don't care what's going on. We're going to do this. We're going to celebrate some good stuff, good karma coming your way, Also, I did find a 36 in my SMWS pile.
You did?
I did. A 10-year-old, the rare release from that distillery at 57.6. So this one is called A Reward for Patience.
Well,
and I've enjoyed that one thoroughly.
Yeah, looks like it. Looks like it. Do you say 56.6?
57.6.
Oh, this one's 56.6, which is
all right. Is that you? And that's 12 years old?
Yeah, it's 12.
Okay.
So we're pretty close.
Before we let Randall cut this off.
Okay.
Whether you save this and post it publicly, whether there's somebody in here that's watching that needs to hear it. Okay. All three of us, as fathers, as enthusiasts, as nerds, as whatever label we want to put towards each other, towards ourselves, or the community wants to put towards us, we're three human beings. Absolutely. And we give a shit about the other human beings over here. So if anybody watching this has any doesn't matter what it is, any question, any comment, any concern, any deep-seated, rooted thing, if you just, all you got to do is send a message.
Absolutely.
The three of us will respond to you, right? Like, it truly, anything, it doesn't matter. The deepest shit in your life, the most drudged up shit that you could imagine, it doesn't matter. Just message us.
Yep.
We'll be more than happy to be your vent. We'll be more than happy to be, your ear. We'll suggest it, but don't be surprised if you open up and we tell you maybe you back off the whiskey for a little bit while you deal with some stuff, because there's been some times in the last few years where I've put the whiskey down for a while.
Yep.
To deal with some stuff. Nowhere near as long as 9 to 11 weeks. But feel free and send a message. Feel free and reach out if you ever need anything.
Absolutely, 100%.
That to me means a lot, because like there's a lot of people out there, and I just recently released a Dry January episode, which I felt like it was going to get a lot of flack back, because like people think, because you see all these different YouTube creators or whatever, whiskey tubers or whatever, they're talking about, I can't wait till blah Whiskey Wednesday or whatever, like, and they're constantly talking about drinking whiskey, doing this, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, it's crazy. And I'm like, yeah, but we don't ever talk about, maybe there's a time you need to stop drinking. And maybe there's a time you need to like take a chill pill. And maybe there's times where whiskey or whatever you're drinking isn't right for you. And alcoholism is a thing. And we need to
just addiction in and of itself.
Absolutely. Addiction of any kind. But like all of this stuff, it's very taboo and they don't want to talk about it. Nobody wants to talk about it. And so it's like for you to come out and say that, it's a big deal, because like now that I'm not the only one thinking about it, that makes me feel a little better. But like,
yeah. But that's the thing. You got to surround yourself by people who genuinely care about people. Not about the algorithm, not about the sales, not about the kiss in the ass of the distillery or the distributor, whatever the fuck fake shit is there, right? Just like, I want to see you guys succeed. I want to see you guys happy, right? Past that, like, I want my work to be clean. I want my ethics to stand still. I want my son to be great, and that's it. I want my wife to be happy. Because the Lord knows, if your wife ain't happy, your fucking life ain't right.
All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you guys coming on here, and all the people in the chat. I thank you so very much for coming on here. I appreciate it. I need to I'm going to pour some water. I know it's water, but I'm going to pour a little water because I appreciate all. Yeah, that's a good one. Happy wife, happy life.
There's too much truth to that.
And then there's this one.
Hey, welcome to the club, bro.
Absolutely. We've all been there. But here's the thing. I appreciate everybody being on here, everybody in the chat. Like, this is amazing, and I want to start doing this more and more often. I'm not going to try and do it weekly or something like that, but I'm going to try and do it a little more, and then we'll just go from there. And I appreciate you guys coming on here and talking. And if some of you guys in the chat want to come on and talk, I'd be more than happy to talk to whoever. It doesn't matter. But I appreciate y'all, and thank y'all very much for coming out and hanging out with me and getting into some whiskeys. It was fun, and I appreciate it. And we had a really good conversation. And there we go. Oh my God. Really? Whiskey Wednesday every week? No, that's not going to happen.
I will say this. Please avoid Monday night, because I never know which one of the Mondays the Austin Rum Society has their meetups and their Zoom calls. And I'd hate to have to kick out on you because my passion for rum is too much.
It's okay. We won't hold it against you. All right, guys.
Just feel free to message us.
I love you all, and y'all be good. And until next time, you know what to do. Keep your spirits up. Later.
Peace, brothers.
Peace.
Peace.